As a child, witnessing years and years of domestic violence, I felt helpless. I wasn't big enough, I wasn't old enough, I certainly wasn't strong enough to defend my mother. You know, and when I did find kickboxing and I built the strength and I built the confidence to stand my own ground, to protect myself, hopefully one day I can teach other women to do the same. Hi, my name's Harriet Blain. I'm 24 years old. I currently live in Melbourne, but I'm from Gippsland. I was in foster care my whole life. I can remember as far back as being 7. I was always doing short stints with different foster carers and even staying with friends. Being in foster care, you can be at home in 1 minute and everything's fine. Being so young, you're unaware of the abuse that is happening around you and how it affects you. Then all of a sudden someone comes knocking on your door and they make friends with you, and next minute they've packed your bags and you're going on an adventure. People promising you to give you a better life and to make you happy, but it was never true. So my parents are both alcoholics and drug abusers. You know, being a young kid, all you want is to be with your family and you don't understand what's happening around you. They promise you the world and everything's going to be okay, but in reality they're alcoholics and they're not dealing with their issues, and I didn't understand why, and I was blaming myself. Am I the problem? Is there something wrong with me? Don't they love me? Do they miss me? When do I get to come home? I was 19 when I discovered kickboxing. My cousin competed and trained with Vince Tanti in Traralgon. I picked him up one night after training and introduced myself to Vince and decided to tag along in the females class. I started in the beginners. I've been training ever since. You know, I had a good job, I had a good home, I felt comfortable, but at the same time, I wasn't out of my comfort zone. I had nowhere to go. I felt like I couldn't grow as a person because I never really left the nest. So I decided to quit my job, move to Melbourne, and I've winged it since then, and it's been the best move I've ever made. The whole reason why I started competing was to grow as a person, to break out of my comfort zone, and it's daunting, but it's the most exciting thing I've ever done. And each time you fight, like whether it's a win or a lose, you just want to get back in and you want to push yourself, you want to keep pushing yourself to be the better version of you, to be the best fighter that you can be. So at the moment I train Monday to Friday. I work full-time and I work part-time in a bar on the weekends as well. So in a typical day I work 8 till 5. I get to training about 5:30. I finish about 7:30, 8 o'clock. By the time I get home it's either 8 or 8:30. I have time to make myself some dinner and pack my bags, and I'm straight in bed. So in total I've had 2 fights. My debut amateur fight was on a pro card in a show down in Chelsea Heights. I lost that fight due to circumstance. I allowed my biological parents to attend. I said to my parents, under one condition: they are not to drink and they're not to be intoxicated whilst being at the venue. And as soon as I arrived, I was so excited, I was full of energy, absolutely buzzing. But as soon as I walked in there, they were drinking and they were drunk. And straight away I burst into tears. I was absolutely devastated, and I stepped into the ring. I just wasn't myself. I didn't fight the way I wanted to fight. Ultimately I lost that fight, and that was a fight I should have won. When I finished the fight and after I seen the doctor, I approached them and I said, you know, I'm really disappointed that you've done that. I've asked for one thing and you acknowledged that, and here you are, you're drinking. And they denied it and they lied straight to my face, and it was like a fire in my chest. I was getting angry and I was trying to be the bigger person and just address it directly. And then my dad, being my dad, started to become aggressive towards me. Now, first mistake is being aggressive towards a fighter. The second mistake is doing that in front of your club. So he was ushered out, but by that stage I packed my stuff and I left. Thanks to genetics, I have a really fast metabolism, so diet isn't a big issue for me. I naturally sit around 58 to 60 kilos. When I fight, I generally cut to about 55 to 53 and fight lighter. You know, when it comes to cutting weight, and I know I haven't really been eating properly, you know, things like upping my cardio, training with garbage bags and layers on and stuff, just really sweating it all out, dehydrating yourself really just gets me over the line. I don't know whether I would compete at a heavier level because it is so easy for me to lose the weight. It's harder for me to put on the weight, especially when I am coming up to competing. I'm doing a lot of cardio. My next fight is the 9th of October at Chelsea Heights Hotel. We've got a few people from our club competing. I would love to be fighting at a state or even a national level. I mean, I would love just to keep going and keep trying and see how far I can get. I mean, I would love to have my own gym. I would love to be teaching women of all ages, you know, from different sort of backgrounds. I would love to be teaching them self-defense. I would love to build their confidence, their strength,